as of today, PS5 and Xbox consoles that are next gen both support 120 hertz all throughout MLB The Show 22. This feature was kind of added out of the blue on PlayStation, and it popped up out of the blue just 3-4 days ago now. If you were playing PS5 and you couldn't play online at all, it was because the setting was on. It didn't allow you to match up with opponents with it on if you're playing at 120 hertz. But now this is fixed and this apparently works. So I'm gonna go through 120 hertz, kind of explain what change is happening here and why this is beneficial to MLB The Show, why you should maybe seek out a monitor or TV that supports it. Let's get into it. What is 120 hertz? What is refresh rate? What does that even mean? Basically, the refresh rate is the amount that your monitor or TV can pass through. So a TV, for example, that has 60 hertz, the console can only play at 60 hertz and display a maximum of 60 FPS, 60 frames per second. TV or monitor supports 120. That means that your display can display up to 120 frames per second. So that means the game is going to display more frames per second. You'll see more detail, you'll have less lost information, and the gameplay will feel smoother. I'll show a little video on here just to give you a visual comparison. This isn't exactly what's going on here. If you want to see a side-by-side between the difference of 30 FPS and 60 FPS, here are the two videos side-by-side for just MLB The Show gameplay. And you'll notice that, you know, the 60 FPS gameplay is smoother. You can see more details. There's less lost information and what's going on here. Long story short, it's gonna make any sort of game you play smoother, but it first of all depends on if your monitor or TV can support it. My monitor, I looked at specs on its manual. There's a signal sheet. You may want to check this for your monitor or TV you have, and it should tell you on there if it can support above 60 hertz or not. So I have a new monitor coming tomorrow where I can fully test this, actually get the full experience of 120 hertz. So if it's something you want to take advantage of, you should check your setup, see what you have as well that could affect this in the pass-through of 120 hertz. For someone that's a content creator, just has a capture card, make sure you have a new capture card that allows 120 hertz pass-through, because that's another part of it as well, that for me, I would have had to upgrade if I didn't have a newer one. There's a whole nother side. This is why it's especially a big deal for MLB The Show. It might not play a smooth 120 FPS. Probably isn't going to happen. I think the game is powerful enough and the consoles are powerful enough. However, if the game is playing at even above 60 FPS in the slightest, but one thing you may notice, since it's not going to play at that higher frame rate, you may notice screen tearing, where basically when the frame rate goes up and down, you may notice some weird choppiness that shows up. This game, I've learned over the last couple of years, is very much based on reaction time. And this refresh rate shifting from 60 hertz to 120 hertz is a big change in helping improve your response time and seeing things quicker. The best way to describe this from what I have researched is to show what's happening in game at this higher refresh rate quicker, even if you're not playing at a smooth 120 FPS. So what this means is you'll be seeing what happens in game way sooner than with it off. I've seen comparisons for other games, a significant decrease in that response time. So the game feels more responsive because you're seeing the actual image of the game sooner. Kind of like the difference between a monitor and TV and the response time and input lag and stuff. This is a big feature for this purpose. You'll feel in a lot of scenarios when you switch this on, and especially if you're playing online, you might be earlier on the ball, because say you swung at the pitch halfway through the pitcher and catcher. Now that you're seeing that halfway point image sooner, you hit that X button, you're gonna start your swing sooner, because it's actually showing you what's happening on the game sooner. So you need to start your swing later, in a sense, now that you're seeing the image of the game a little bit quicker. And this is a good thing. Even though you may be early on everything for a bit, this is a good thing overall, especially when you're playing online, because you need the response time to see what's happening, catch up to the fast pitches, because when you have some more input lag and response time, it causes problems with timing up those fastballs that are really quick. So yeah, that is really the big deal for 120 hertz. I'll put the link in the description to the monitor that I picked up on Amazon. I'll try to look around for a couple more options in case you are looking around for a monitor that does have 120 hertz. Just for another note, I've heard people talk about HDMI 2.1 and all that. You're looking for a 4K monitor for 120 hertz. I think you need HDMI 2.1 for that. Other than that, I don't think you need HDMI 2.1. And I appreciate you all watching this video. If you have any questions, try to let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to answer that. If you want to have another visual of why this difference is a big deal, check out this TV versus monitor video I made the other week, comparing TVs and monitors and response time and all that, so you can understand why this is a big deal when choosing equipment for the game. Appreciate you watching. Have a great rest of your day. See you all again on the next one. Deuces.